Greetings, this is Dr. Paul Gerhardt, the organizational doctor and professor of human resource management. This video is going to be a review from the shrm.org website. This video is not directly affiliated with the shrm.org website, but it's merely an article review from an article written and published on the shrm.org website, and it was written by Lubna Noradin. And I think this is one of the most important topics to consider as a human resource professional. It's about being able to help lower the cost of doing business by lowering employee turnover. And I really believe that this is one of the most important things that any human resource professional or leader should consider. So stay tuned as we talk about effective manager onboarding. And this article is the 5 key steps. Onboarding is a critical aspect of talent development. And you may ask why? Well, if you don't lay down a solid foundation to help managers, leaders, and new employees know what they don't know, there's going to be confusion. And they may not consider how they impact other people. There's a theory called systems effect that says every person influences other people, which influences in one way or another the success of an organization. And of course, managers have the biggest impact on the bottom line because they are the organization to each employee, and they have the biggest impact on employee job satisfaction. Of course, you probably knew that from your experience or, of course, in your studies. So this is why we really must understand that if we want to lay down a foundation, every little piece of the puzzle needs to be considered. And so that's why that foundation is onboarding. We need to understand why it's so important to do onboarding right. People rarely forget their onboarding experiences, positive or otherwise. It's a time of significant transition for them at many levels, including the intellectual, social, and environmental aspects. Effective manager onboarding, or employee onboarding, has an undeniable influence on team behaviors and results, and you shouldn't be surprised. However, some organizations don't do onboarding right, or they don't do it at all. And so hopefully you'll find this video on these 5 key steps to help you make sure that you are in some way or another lowering the costs of business and being able to shape the organizational culture in a way that maintains a competitive advantage. People have choices these days where to work and where to do business, and every person has an influence on that, especially people who are in a leadership position in one shape or form. Managers are the face of the culture, and their leadership behaviors and actions must align with the organization's culture. That means you, as a human resource professional or leader doing onboarding, must really be doing the legwork ahead of time to really think about what factors of organizational culture need to be built into this onboarding process. Managers are more likely to succeed when they are well trained to adopt the leadership competencies needed to align to business goals and bottom line results. That means you, as a human resource professional or a leader in the organization, really have to think about what these competencies are, make sure you have the right assessment to help find out where that new employee or leader is with these competencies, and do training to lay down a foundation to give them proper leadership training in order to get the right results. So onboarding managers really is important. Most people want to feel welcome and hope their onboarding experience is personalized to meet their needs. And they expect guidance through their workspace, tools, and applications throughout their whole career. So there really is important to make sure that you are doing onboarding right. Onboarding a manager plays a pivotal role in the retention of top talent within an organization with a direct impact on the bottom line. We want to lower the cost of doing business, and one of the most controllable costs of doing business has to do with employee turnover. Satisfied employees want to help the organization be successful. They want to give their best. They want to share their talents with the organization and ultimately want to grow with an organization. When you lose an employee or a manager, they go to the competition and bring their valuable experiences to them, making that organization stronger. When an employee grows with an organization, you maintain institutional knowledge and history that helps make the organization stronger, one employee at a time. So doing onboarding really can help. The question, how can talent development leaders make the company's brand a focal point in the new manager or employee experience? How can you bring into perspective a memorable experience? And how can you influence the long-term retention of emerging managers or employees? Well, here's the leader's role in onboarding. And let's talk about some research first. By the Gallup Institute, they found that managers are accountable for 70% of employee engagement variance. A study of more than 7,200 U.S. adults concluded that half of employees leave their jobs to get away from their managers. That's a really big influence that managers have over employee satisfaction. Happy managers, happy employees stay with the organization and help it grow when they are treated well. And that's the employee engagement that we talk about as human resource professionals. The Gallup Institute reports that managers who promote transparency, clarity, and safe communication are the most successful at influencing a new manager's experience. So those are just good leadership competencies to have. Is being transparent, being very clear in their communication, creating a place of safety. So if anything you do as a leader can influence the success of an employee, it really are those three competencies. Influential leaders plan time to meet with their new employees, get to know them, and ultimately promote an environment of safety, trust, and open communication. Your role in onboarding really is so vital. Building a genuine leader-manager relationship also will likely influence the new or promoted manager's integration into their role, which ultimately influences an employee's decision to stay. But unfortunately, this is not a common practice. We don't always know what we don't know, but we really have to consider how our actions impact other people. A well-designed onboarding process that takes into consideration new managers' needs and specific measures of success at the operational, leadership, and cultural and organizational levels is important. Leaders should not underestimate the power of their role in onboarding new managers or employees to a place of influence and integration. So here they are. These are the 5 key ingredients of effective program onboarding programs. Number 1, connect. Create a connection with the new or promoted manager or employee prior to and throughout the first 90 days. This is one of those defining practices that brings relief to new managers because it alleviates the stress of knowing what to expect throughout the onboarding process. Align. Select a mentor. The author of this article from the SHRM.org website, Lubna Noureddin, calls that term buddy. To support the manager's onboarding process, ensure the buddy is vested in the right leadership behaviors. Train the buddy to provide support to the new manager and help him or her acclimate to the new culture. Increase buddy awareness about different styles in the workplace, emotional intelligence, influence, and trust. I've got a video on emotional intelligence on YouTube. You can search for it by searching Dr. Paul Gerhardt, Emotional Intelligence. And the third key ingredient for onboarding is manage. Schedule time to meet with the new manager one day and plan to connect daily for optimal results. Share your vision, values, and expectations. Discuss pertinent challenges and design a personalized development plan. Hire an external coach or work with an internal one to support the new manager's or employee's integration into his or her new role. Number 4, plan. Plan weekly milestones with the new manager and buddy. Schedule meetings and shadowing moments with key stakeholders. Incorporate strategic discussions into the process. Assess progress using reliable technological solutions. Incorporate career development discussions early in the process. And number 5, streamline. Track the new manager or employee's weekly milestones and progress with the development plan. Integrate feedback loops and wow moments into the process, such as a welcoming gift, lunch with peers, a day with my manager, introduction and management meetings, or a surprise visit from a senior leader. These small wins create long-term value for new employees. So you really have to help create an experience with proper planning to help people feel like they are truly valued and set up for success. Some other tips to remember as I finish this video is when you're doing onboarding, always help the employee understand the major elements of the organizational culture. Really sit down with top leadership and figure out what those key elements of the ideal organizational culture are and build them into the onboarding process and emphasize how important it is for that new manager or employee to embrace the organizational culture elements that you've identified and help make really them remember that they play an important role in shaping the organizational culture. Creating a network of mentors to support the new employee or the manager is really important. Help people know the who's who in the organization. No one knows absolutely everybody, but having a network with open doors to those people can help create a more successful organizational culture and a place where people are constantly communicating to help them know what they don't know. Nobody knows everything, but being able to introduce people, maybe create a list that helps people know the who's who will continue to help make a positive difference in the organization. Help the employee feel like they belong. I think it's one of the most important aspects. And so really being welcoming, being kind, being thoughtful in your interactions with another person, being able to show that you're listening and that the person is not a number. Those are some of the things that really help make the organization feel like they belong. Think about how important the first experience that you have in meeting another person. Those first impressions are really important. And that's what we're doing, is we're extending that first impression in the onboarding process, so it really must be that way. And finally, use written documentation for the employee to have as a reference. Maybe it's a bunch of checklists. Maybe it's some materials that help re-emphasize aspects of being an effective leader that you've built into the onboarding process. So again, onboarding is one of those things that can make the most substantial impact in the success of an organization. It helps lower employee turnover and enhances employee satisfaction. So taking time to do onboarding right really is key to success, and every human resource professional or leader really must make sure that they are doing it. Well, that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for watching this video on onboarding, which was a review from the shrm.org website. I am only a member of that website, and I am a professor of human resource management. If you like the video, please make sure you actually like it and subscribe for more videos. This is Dr. Paul Gerhardt, hoping you enjoyed the video, because only you get to choose how you feel about it.